Hi, welcome back to Shark Tank Tips. I'm your host, Zoe Hewitt. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RealZoeHewitt. Now, Mir-Mir is a great product. Right up next on the show, Sean and Ryan were in the tank. They were asking $350,000 in exchange for only 10% of their company. So a product like that, you know they're asking for us, giving out a small percentage of equity. They must have some sales. And they do. $4 million in 3 years is what their sales are for a product that is basically an upscale photo booth. So their pitch was that, hey, normally in photo booths in the mall, anywhere you go, at a wedding, at different events, you look kind of bad. So no one wants to use them. So their photo booth has proprietary software in it that they came up with that actually puts filters on. But I shouldn't say filters in the plural. It's actually just one filter. So you get the perfect lighting, the perfect look. They did call all the sharks up to try it out. The sharks were really impressed, and actually probably even more impressive when Robert got married recently. These guys were at his wedding. His wedding planner actually had them come. So big deal for them, and you could tell they were excited that Robert made that connection on his own, because they surely would have brought that up. But big question for me is, don't people do this already on their phones? And there are about 1 million filters and 1 million apps that do this. So that was a question for the sharks too. And Damon was out. He said, hey, I think technology moves so quickly. It's really cool now, but this isn't a product that's going to last, or a product that can even be scaled. They do about 500 events a year so far. And it's like, well, I guess I can see that if you're at a wedding or if you're at a cool event, that maybe that's something you want to provide for all of your guests. But overall, it just doesn't seem that exciting to me. So I was surprised they were asking for so much money. But you know who was on board? Robert! He could not have been more excited about this product. It's like he was practically jumping out of his seat. First he said, hey, I want to be a full partner here. First he wanted 50%, but he was going to give more money. And the guy said, yeah, no way for that. And Robert kept pushing and said, okay, well, how much of a percentage will you give away? What's the largest percent? How much money do you need? I mean, he was so into Mir-Mir. So the guys finally said they'd be willing to do 20%. So Robert offered $700,000 for 20%. They took it immediately. And I feel like great deal for Robert. I'm surprised that Mr. Wonderful didn't want to get more in on it. He did make an offer, but clearly didn't wind up with it. He wasn't quite as interested, and because he does have his Something Wonderful platform that is all wedding based. But for my money too, I'd say, hey, this is just a product that's maybe good for events, but same thing, there's not enough going on like Damon says. What's gonna happen in another year? And these are expensive machines. They cost $22,000 per machine. So it's quite an investment. They have about 9 of them right now. The other thing that I did not think was very clear in this episode was how much did they actually rent these for at events. And so they said also they travel with them, but they gave out a number, $2,750 was their base amount. But the reason I'm unclear is because if you think back to last season, if you've been watching a while, Constance, Chris, and I talked about a butter thing that seemed to psychically know how much butter you needed, and I thought it was $1.99 when they said $1.99, but oh no, it was $199. So still wondering why anyone would pay that much for butter. But same thing here, did they mean $27.50 or did they mean $2,750? Because that seems more likely for a wedding, but it's just beyond me to think that you would pay that much for something that's just taking a photo. Just set someone up with their camera at your wedding with a really good filter, and it seems like you've got the same thing. So big Shark Tank tip takeaway here is, if you can actually have had involvement with a shark prior to the show, big get for you, because I think that's why Robert was really so excited. It was like his special connection to these guys. What do you guys think? Let me know, tweet me, tell me, would you have wanted to invest in Mir-Mir? You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RealZoeHewitt. I'll see you next time.